Hi friends! So today's book is Finding Nemo. When Marlin's son Nemo is captured by a diver in the Great Barrier Reef, Marlin will stop at nothing to rescue his son. Together with his new friend Dory, he sets off on a dangerous journey. Will they find Nemo against all odds? Let's find out. So here's our first picture. Here's our cover page. The title is Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo, and it's by Disney Press. So, price to this book, the story, and the pictures. Marlin was a clownfish, but that didn't mean he had to find life funny. Marlin had lost his wife and more than 400 eggs in a restless barracuda attack. Only one egg has survived. I promise I will never let anything happen to you, Nemo, Marlin said. Nemo had been born with one damaged fin. Marlin was so protective, he would let Nemo out of his sight. He didn't even like Nemo going beyond their sea enemy home. But on Nemo's first day of school, Nemo was ready for adventure. Come on, wake up, come on! Nemo exclaimed, swimming circles around his sleeping father. Before they set off for school, Marlin asked sternly, "What's the one thing we have to remember about the ocean?" "It's not safe," Nemo sighed. As they swam to school together, Marlin kept reminding Nemo to hold his fin. Nemo had made some new friends from his class, and they sneaked off together, daring each other to swim out onto the open sea. Nemo was nervous and didn't venture very far, but it was way too far for Marlin, who was hovering nearby. You think you can just do these things, but you just can't," Marlin shouted. Nemo wanted to prove his dad wrong. He swam to a boat and touched it with his fin. Suddenly, a diver appeared. "Daddy, help me!" Nemo screamed as he caught sight of the reflection in the diver's mask. In a flash, the diver had scooped Nemo up in a net. Marlin raced to the surface as the diver sped away. There was nothing he can do to save his precious son. The boat had sped off so quickly that a diver's mask had fallen overboard. Marlin rushed to a busy underwater road to get help. "Has anyone seen a boat?" he cried. A regal blue tain named Dory told him that he had seen a boat. "Follow me," she said. However, Dory had a very bad memory. 1 minute later, she couldn't even remember why Marlin was following her. "Will you quit it?" she asked, confused. Marlin turned to swim away, only to come face to face with a huge shark. He was called Bruce. He was trying to be a vegetarian. He befriended Dory and Marlin and wanted them to meet his, meaty buddies, so they can prove their motto: fish are friends, not food. Dory, who was as cystic as she was forgetful, thought it was a wonderful idea. The terrified Marlin did not. The self-help sharks held their meeting in a wrecked submarine. It has been 3 years since my last fish. 3 weeks since my last fish, Bruce told his friends proudly. Always eager, Dory joined in. Um, I don't think I've ever eaten a fish. Just then, Marlin spotted the diver's mask. Dory wanted to show to the sharks, but Marlin didn't. As they tussled, Dory bumped her nose and it bleed a little. Bruce got sun carving for a fish dinner. As Dory and Marlin tried to escape, something exploded. Meanwhile, Nemo had found himself in a dentist's fish tank in Sydney. He soon discovered how small the tank was. When he crashed into the side, a group of fish came out of hiding. Bubbles, Peach, Jebs, Blob, Deb, and Gurgle were thrilled to meet a fish from the open sea. Later, Nemo learned that he was going to be a present for the dentist's niece, Darla. She's a fish killer, whispered Peach. That night, a ceremony was held to make Nemo an official member of the group. All Nemo had to do was to swim through the ring of fire. It sounded scary, but it was just a stream of bubbles. Nemo bravely swam through the bubbles and into the gang's heart. Afterward, Gil, the leader of the tankfish, announced, "From this moment on, you will be known as Sharkbait." Next, he revealed his plan to escape from the tank. Back in the ocean, Dory had dropped the mask into a deep trance. She and Marlin swam after it and ran into an anglerfish. Suddenly, Dory remembered she could read. P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Dory read from the mask scrap. Thinking quickly, Marlin trapped the anglerfish inside the mask. The pair was so excited, they knew where to find Nemo. Marlin told Dory he was going to Sydney alone. You mean you don't like me? Dory asked. A school of moonfish rushed over and were angry with Marlin for upsetting Dory. The moonfish told Dory how to get to Sydney. Follow the East Australian current, they said. Then they gave her a warning. When you come to a trench, swim through it, not over it. When they finally got to the trench, however, Marlin insisted that swimming over it would be much safer. Soon, they were surrounded by stinking jellyfish. Dory thought it was fun to bounce on top of them. They managed to find a safe way through. But they were tired and had been stung by the jellyfish. They needed help. Soon, some sea turtles rescued Marlin and Dory. Their run-in with the jellyfish had left them in bad shape. Taking on the jellies? Awesome! Exclaimed Crush, a surfer turtle. Marlin watched as Crush encouraged his son to be adventurous. Crush thought it taught important lessons. Watching Crush's son made Marlin wonder if he had been too protective of Nemo. Tales of Marlin's adventure was spreading far and wide. Nigel, a friendly pelican who knew the tankfish, eventually heard the stories and rushed to tell Nemo the incredible news. Nemo was amazed. He had always thought his dad was a bit of a scary fish. He thought that was ballowing his way to Sydney, filled with the little fishes with pride. Nemo was inspired by his dad's bravery, and he was determined to escape. To his friend's horror, Nemo darted into the filter, but he successfully jammed it. Everyone cheered. Soon, the tankfish were swimming in slimy green water. They couldn't be happier. Dr. Sherman was going to have to clean the tank before Darla arrived, giving them a chance to escape. Back in the ocean, Marlin and Dory said goodbye to the turtles, but soon found themselves swallowed up inside the mouth of a massive whale. "It's okay, I speak whale," Dory assisted Marlin. He either said we may move back to the throat, or he wants a root beer float. She translated. It turned out the whale was only giving the two brave little fish a lift. They were soon squirted out of the whale's blowhole, right into Sydney Harbor. They nearly ended up as breakfast for a hungry pelican, but eventually they escaped and landed on the dock. Luckily, Nigel rushed to the rescue. "Hop inside my mouth if you want to live," he whispered. Nigel scooped them up, filled his beak with some water, and took off. Hungry seagulls followed, but Nigel played a trick on them, and the seagulls flew right into a boat's sail. Inside, the dentist had cleaned the tank water with a fancy new automated field cleaner while the fish were still in the tank. The escape plan was ruined. Nemo was lifted out of the tank and plopped into a bag. Darla had arrived. Nemo had one last chance. He played dead, hoping that he would get flushed down the toilet and out into the ocean. Nigel scrambled through the window with Marlin and Dory and saw Nemo floating upside down in the plastic bag. The dentist quickly shooed Nigel away, but in the commotion, he dropped Nemo. The bag burst open. "I get fishy," squealed Darla as he reached out to grab him. Gil flipped himself onto the tray beside Nemo. "Tell your dad I said hi," he said. Then Gil smacked his tail on a dental mirror, catapulting Nemo over Darla's waiting hands and into the spit sink. The little fish escaped down the drain. Back in the harbor, Nigel dropped Dory and Marlin into the sea. Darlin was heartbroken. He had thought he had lost Nemo for good and swam off to be on his own. Nemo soon met Dory. At first, he had no idea who he was, but finally she remembered. Dory knew he had to reunite Nemo with his dad right away. Together, they swam after Marlin as fast as Nemo's little fins would let them. There was a happy reunion between Marlin and Nemo. Marlin finally realized that even though Nemo was a little fish, he was capable of doing very good things. They had both learned that life was an adventure to be lived in the fullness. Meanwhile, the tankfish were having an adventure of their own. They had finally made their escape. Now they just have to find a way to get out of the bags. Got my friends and Finding Nemo. Here's a picture of Crush and a picture of Marlin and Nemo. Thank you for relying with me, everyone. Until next time, bye.